Alright, I'm on my way to my starting hole out here at Little Davie. Hole number 5 will be starting on. I'm using my streamline bag for round 1. Round 2 will be Prodigy. This is the finals of the Manufacturer's Challenge. And we'll see who comes out with the win at the end of the day. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a great course to finish on. This has been a good challenge, a really fun challenge. I'm glad I did it. But we'll see who is the winner at the end. So we'll see you back after round 1 for a quick recap of that round.
All right, starting off on hole 5 and throwing my streamline pilot. I put a really good shot on this one. Just started off down that right side, let it kind of crash back in towards the basket. Left me with this short putt for birdie. Hole 6, I'm throwing the Petra off the tee pad here. Out of the hand, it felt absolutely perfect, and unfortunately it caught that tree in the middle of the fairway, kicked it into the woods here. I'm gonna take my longhorn, and there's a little gap right there I was trying to hit, which I did, and it kind of kicked me into the middle of the fairway here. So I believe I'm throwing my grackle. Had a really good throw out of the hand, got it near the basket. It'll be a pretty easy finish to save par. This is a par 5. Just toss it to the basket and tap it in. Hole 7, I'm throwing the Phoenix on the forehand. I'm trying to throw a kind of a skip shot into the little. It's an island, but there's no OB or anything. But the basket's on an island. For birdie, just did miss it. A little high. It kind of, the disc popped out of my hand and went up on me, but pretty easy par. Hole 8, I'm throwing the trace off the tee, trying to go through the middle of those trees. Hit my shot like I wanted, got out into the open, where I'm going to throw my runway on the forehand and just kind of toss it up to the basket. And I'm going to have a tap-in birdie. Hole number 9, I'm throwing the longhorn on the forehand. This is a long pushing left to right shot. Kind of started it a little bit too far on the inside. Kind of put me in these trees. But I'm going to take my range and just try to get it out the gap towards the basket. This is going to leave me just outside circle for a birdie. Hole 10, throwing the pilot on the backhand, and this was a good ace run. It went right over top of the basket, but unfortunately it's a mounded hole, and so going over the basket meant I went way past the basket. So that was me just tossing it up to take the par. Hole 11, throwing the lift on a forehand. And that is Mr. Brett Woods there on the left. B-Dubs Disc Golf. He's a fellow YouTube creator. Check his channel out if you have a chance. That was my approach with the range to get me here for the birdie. I can't really get a good footing here, or at least not like I would like. And unfortunately, I just hit right chains and kicked out. But you can see I was kind of moving my feet around because I couldn't really get a good solid footing, but I was able to save par. Hole 12, throwing the Phoenix on a forehand. And out of my hand, I thought I hit it just right. And unfortunately, I did catch a tree in the middle and just kind of knocked it straight down. But I'm going to take, I think it's a runway. Pretty positive, yes, my runway, and just going to toss it up towards the basket. It went a little straighter than I expected. I wanted a little more fade on it, but didn't quite get it. but this is a long putt with the pilot. Just under the basket. Tap in for par. Hole 13, gonna throw the pilot. Trying to go right down the middle. And I did get a little bit close to the side here. Luckily, I could step out. If you're too far forward on this one, you will not have a chance to make that putt with those logs being in the way. I'm gonna throw the Phoenix here. And luckily it crashed in before it got to the hazard. So I'm just in front of the hazard. Really didn't give it a good bid there. But it's gonna be a tap in par. Hole 15. I'm trying to throw a drift here. I want to get it to get up, flip up and turn right. And it started to, but then it came out at the end, and unfortunately I'm going to miss the Mando.
I really thought you had it.
It was close. It just didn't hold. But this is to save par from the drop zone. It's basically a circle's edge putt, but it was able to save par. Hole 16, throwing the Alpha here, which is a nice overstable 7-speed. Might be an 8-speed, but put it right in the middle where I wanted, and I'm gonna take the Petra, and unfortunately I'm gonna just... I didn't play this hole well at all, both rounds. That was just a bad shot. Trying to get a roller out of here. Got it forward more than I expected. But I do have a small gap. I'm gonna take the pilot, and luckily, in my head I said just throw it and hope you get through, and I did. I got through very well, and this is the save par. Alright, hole 17, throwing the Jet. Absolutely smoked it out of the hand. This was a really good drive. Got me right in the middle where I could take the pilot and just throw it right to the basket. Beautiful flight on this one. And put it right in front of the basket for my birdie. Hole 18, gonna throw the Grackle. It doesn't matter what I throw, I'm always landing in the same exact spot on this hole. It does not matter. It's like if there's a magnet there for me, but I put it right here every single time. That's about all I could do, was just try to toss it through to get the tap in par. Hole 1, I'm going to throw the Trace on the forehand. Good shot. There's a little bit too much fade on it. Put me in the trees over here, but this is a long birdie putt. Fortunately went a little high with it, but fairly easy comeback or par. Hole 2, I missed my drive. This is my approach. Kind of mess up this entire hole really. But I'm going to do this approach and actually miss my next putt, but I do make this putt for par.
That was pretty good.
That was the only shot I captured. Hole number 3, I'm going to throw the Phoenix. Really good shot here. I had a skip right past the basket that was I think it was pretty close to an ace. I think I just did miss it. This will be barely a tap-in birdie. All right. Hole 4, I'm going to throw the runway here. Very tight hole. And I'm going to throw the runway again. This should be just a little force over forehand, and unfortunately did not force it over enough. I'm trying to decide what to throw here. I'm In my head, I'm thinking turn over backhand with the pilot, but then I changed my mind and decided to go to the stabilizer and try to do a little flick forehand here to get it near the basket. There's a little branch right there, and I'm trying to figure out what to do, and then I realized, well, I can mark it and get that extra little space that I need. So now I have the space on that right side to not hit the tree when I go back. So it'll slide it up near the basket, and this is to save par to go bogey free for round one.
All right, after round one, we're currently sitting at 6 down, as you saw. Streamline showed up today, so Prodigy is going to have to show up as well to take this down, but currently sitting in 3rd place, tied for 3rd, and really fun round out here. This course is very fun to play. So we're going to get round 2 started, and I'll see you after the round.
All right, starting off on hole number 6, I'm going to throw the M4 here. Threw this one exactly like I needed to. It was a beautiful shot down the right side. Left me right here open to this gap. I'm going to take my F7 and just throw it out down that right side and let it crash back into the middle. And then I'm going to take my PA3. You can see that die on there from Disc Dies by Melissa. That was just done. We just got it that morning. Threw it right up to the basket. Easy tap in for birdie. Played this one much better than round 1. Hole 7, I'm going to throw the H1V2. Pretty similar outcome to round 1. And this is going to be for birdie. Hole 8, I throw in my F3. You can see that die that I just got today as well. Very nice die on that one. They're all very nice dies, but that one's very good. Trying to throw this the same as I did the trace. Got it a little bit more inside, but it still made it out the gap. And here I'm going to throw the A3. I'm trying to do like I did with the runway, and I think I just cranked it way too hard because it went way straighter than I expected. Threw it way past the basket. I just have to toss this up and take my par. At hole 9, I'm throwing my D3. Out of the hand, it felt really good, and then it just kind of crashed on me hard right at the very end, more than I expected. So I'm in the exact same spot I was last round. I mean, literally the same gap, everything. And I just went up with the PA5 to get out, and it leaves me this for the birdie. This is further than last round. This is probably 50 feet. And here's where things start to go bad. Hole number 10, I'm throwing the PA3. Actually had a good little kick, put me right down near the basket. This is for birdie. And this is kind of what I call a gimmick hole. Every course has them, but when you have a basket that's just sitting on a mound like this, there's no real place to land and not have a 50-50 chance of rollaways. Because it hit the basket and then it just rolled all the way down. And that was me just tossing it up and taking my bogey. But holes like that I call gimmick holes, ones where they're on a mound and, you know, it's mostly up to luck unless you actively do not go for birdie. But, you know, and you're in circle 1 and you're having to make the choice not to try to run it inside circle because of the rollaway effect. But yeah, hole 11 here. As you saw, I kind of had a rough time off the tee pad, but I was able to get here to salvage the par. Hole 12, I'm throwing the H1B2. I tried to make an adjustment from last round with that Phoenix where I kind of went too straight and didn't get it to go in, and I put way too much hyzer on it, which put me over here on the right side. I'm taking my PA3. Tried to throw a turnover, but kind of really overturned it. Gets me way off the fairway, but this was a great shot. This was way better than I expected. I got it next to the basket almost. This is probably just outside circle to save par. And it was a quarter inch too low, but took a bogey, unfortunately. Hole 13, I'm gonna throw my A3. I should have thrown them PA5 instead. Hit that middle tree and kicked it straight down, but I do have a line at the basket to try to save birdie. Just missed it. And I take the par. Hole 14, gonna throw my M5, and out of the hand, I thought I absolutely smashed it. I thought I was gonna have an ace run, and unfortunately, I'm gonna catch one of these logs that's at the hazard line, and it kind of killed it and put it into the hazard. But this is to try to save par. And just right chains. Another bogey. Hole 15, I'm gonna take my, or 15, hole 15, I'm gonna take my M4. And I thought I threw it perfectly, but unfortunately it puts me on the left side of this Mando. I did not miss the Mando, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. I really thought about just smashing it into that right side bamboo and trying to kick it towards the basket, but then I did not want to mess up their Mando construction here. I don't want to risk breaking anything, so I just said I'll just flick it out here and try for the par, or long putt par. All right, hole 16, I'm going to throw the Shadowfax. Good shot out of the hand. It was a little low. I think I caught one of these little tree branches. That kind of slowed it down just a little bit, but I'm taking my PA5, and it was a really good shot out of the hand. It just didn't make it through the gap. It got caught up in this stuff. I'm trying to figure out what to throw here, and then I see what I think is a line. I'm gonna take the A5. I'm trying to hit this little teeny gap just to get it down the fairway, and unfortunately caught the last tree I needed to pass. So this is my A3, and I'm wanting to toss it high and let it glide down towards the basket, which is exactly what it did. And it gives me this putt here to try to save par. However, it's a straddle putt, which we all know I'm not good at. And I decided to not even come close to the basket. So I'm gonna have a tap in bogey, unfortunately. Hole 17, I'm gonna throw the Adonis here. And I just pull it over a little bit too much. It's in a good spot. I'm taking my A2, and I absolutely smashed this A2 to get it up here near the basket. But unfortunately, you do not want to be right. The basket's right in front of me. I think I'm inside circle. that kind of light, very light leaning tree right to left, kind of at the corner I'm looking at. The basket's right in front of that, but I have no line to it whatsoever. I hit the basket on that and killed it. So fortunately I'm gonna take a par. That tree right there, that's the tree I was talking about. It was completely blocking the basket. So you do not want to be on that right side. I'm gonna take my F3 on the hole 18, and we all know where it's going already. I even threw it out further to the right for it to crash in. I'm having to scooper putt here. Check my footing, make sure I got my toe of my foot behind the disc, and crashed in that birdie putt with the scooper. Hole number 1, I'm gonna throw my PA5. I'm wanting to get the flip up and have a nice easy ride to the right, and I kind of crank it over a little too much. There's a little headwind there that just pulled it over further right than I wanted, but this is a long bid for birdie. Just off the top of the basket. But easy par. Hole 2, this hole made me upset today, and you're going to see why. Just a really bad tee shot to start. And this is my approach. PX3. I have a line here if I throw it on kind of almost like a grenade. I mean, almost vertical. I got it out, got it down to where I made the putt last round. And unfortunately, I'm gonna hit cage. And this stuff right here, this is like 17 feet from the basket. And watch this right there. This is all massive thorn bushes. My leg is bleeding now. You'll start to see the blood start to flow on my leg. These thorns are all around in here. So if you get over here, just grab your disc. Don't get in this stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to get my feet in here so I'm not getting scratched up anymore. I have to do this crazy stance because I can't get my right foot back anymore because it's all thorns. And it was just unfortunate. But that was for bogey. And I'm going to take a double bogey here. I'm not blaming the thorns for it, but I don't think there should be hazards like that. That close, inside circle 1 on a basket to where you're slicing yourself to shreds to make an inside the circle putt. But that's the only hole I saw like that. This is shot here. That was the H1V2 off that tee. I don't know how that one didn't fall. That was coming in, right center chains on a hyzer putt. But unfortunately took a par. And I'm trying to take this A3 here on hole 4 and slide it to the basket, or not to the basket, but slide it to the gap. And I hit something in the fairway. I don't know what it was. It just stopped it. And at this point, I'm kind of fed up with the round, and I just take this H1V2 and I threw it on a high forehand roller line, and it absolutely worked out. Put me pin high, left of the basket, circle's edge for the birdie. And I was putting with fractal PA3s today. Hole 5, our last hole, throwing the PA3. I should have thrown the M5. I knew I should have thrown the M5. And I don't know, I was thinking I could make the PA3 force it over, but it just didn't. And I'm just take the A3 and toss it near the basket. Gotta reserve myself for par here. And for the final putt of the day.
All right, that's going to do it for the finals. out of left field, Streamline came in and took it. I was very surprised by that. I felt like I was throwing the disc fairly well with that round with Prodigy. Just they just weren't quite going exactly where I expected them to. But Prodigy did very well in this little tournament of mine, and Streamline, every round they were on it. So congrats to Streamline for that. I will be bagging, mostly bag Streamline this season. I might have an A3 in there, one or two Prodigy discs in the bag, but it'll be mostly Streamline or discs made by Mint or made by MVP Streamline going for the rest of the year. So I hope you enjoyed the kind of the tournament. I really did. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but I am looking forward to kind of throwing more one bag in some of these tournaments, because I feel like I may have had some wins had I stayed consistent with the bag, where I had some kind of not lower finishes, but top 10 finishes that could have been better.
At this point, my battery died on me and did not realize it, but just wanted to say thank you everyone who have watched this series that I put out. Really appreciate it, and I look forward to maybe doing it again next year. Seeing if Streamline can go 2 years in a row, or if we get a new winner for the challenge. But like I say, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you again next time.